Well, how you doing today, everybody? I am in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I am at Tinker Air Force Base, where when I was coming through here late last night looking for a place to park, I saw this. Look it out. Here's a Corsair. This was used by the Navy as well, although I don't believe it's the same, because in the Navy version, this wing could actually lift up here to give a better angle of attack for taking off on a carrier. Now the Corsair 2, I don't know if there was a variation, or you can read it yourself. I'm not going to bother. And here is, I think this is that, they call it an F-111. That side-by-side. They developed it as a fighter, but I believe that you sit side by side, and this is one that the whole cockpit. Oh, this is Thunder Chief. The whole cockpit ejected in one piece, if I recall, for this plane. I thought it didn't work out well as a fighter because I think it was a side-by-side. I don't really know for sure. I may be saying shit I don't know nothing about. Oh no, this is not the plane. I can tell by the cockpit it's not a side-by-side seating. Oh, and look at this old beast. This is a cool one. I don't know how long this one hung around. I think this was used in a couple of quite a few movies over the years. And you can tell by the fuselage, this bird has seen better days. The Stratojet. I'll let you look at that. Top speed 666 miles an hour. That must have been cool as shit. I'd be curious where they got the name Tinker Air Force Base other than Tinker Bell. Oh, and there's a one of them nice piece. Look at P3? No. I'm trying to think of the damn name of this plane. I should know it. They're one of the most recognized planes there is. They've been around forever, and there's still plenty flying, and there's still some in service with Buffalo Air up in Canada. C-47, that's what I was. The Goonie Bird. I remember this one they used this all over the place, and they use it up in the North Country quite a bit. It's a very rugged airplane, and they're still around. I'd hope I see a P3 here, but this is, it's an old Air Force One. Although technically any plane without the president on it is not Air Force One. Air Force One is the designation only when the president is in the plane. This is probably one from the Jimmy Carter era. Definitely before they bought the 747s. And this one, that looks like a Navy. I didn't know that. Oh, it is a Navy plane. Okay. Yeah, this one was used quite a bit. There's been in service for a long time. I don't know that much about it. I know it was used a lot. And this one, I want to see the plaque for this one because I have a feeling this was at least Carter or a little before Carter. Here's the information on the base itself. Oh, kept hearing voices. There's people over there. I'll let you take a quick little look here. Well, of course, somebody has to pee everywhere. Tinker Air Force Base. Don't know how old this base is. Just about. It doesn't say when it was established. Facility was designed and built large quantity aircraft maintenance late 1942. renamed Tinker. It was named in honor of native Oklahoma member. Oh, okay, so it wasn't Tinker Bell. It was Clarence J. Tinker. Oh. Somebody that was killed in World War II. Read the rest of it. Feel free to pause and read away. Just trust me, any information I put out there is probably messed up. So let's take a look here. They like the airplanes, but they're... Oh, I thought he was pointing at my doggy. Anyway, what do we got here? Oh. Tanker being... Oh, this was used a lot as a tanker. Doesn't talk about dedicated... Huh. Doesn't talk about when this was used as... It's painted in the presidential color, but I don't see a presidential seal on it. Ah, here she is over here. Always been one of my favorite airplanes. Yeah. And this is kind of a... They designed this plane originally with 4 missiles under the bottom. The Sidewinder missile, which was the same missile on my track system that I used, or was trained in. And they did not put a gun on this plane because they thought, oh, you don't need it anymore because you can shoot with a missile from a distance. This is the gun pod, I believe, or where they would put the gun pod. I don't know exactly how. They had it in the nose. It was an add-on because they realized they still needed it when they got to Vietnam because they were getting their asses whooped. F4, yeah, I couldn't remember the damn designation. This was a cool plane, and I believe they're still using these as Wild Weasel aircraft, which is a anti-radar aircraft. I don't believe that is a gun pod, but they did add gun pods to these nose cones because they didn't have any other choice. Because they kind of screwed up. And the original missiles, the Sidewinder missiles, were mounted for... Yeah, there's your mount for the side. 1, 2. Thought there was 4. Yeah, there's a 4. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. I built one of these as a model years ago. One of the neat things is, if you're ever building a model with missiles like that on it, the trick to make it look like the missile's firing, if you're going to hang the model up, I took bamboo skewers for making shish kebab, and then I shredded up cotton balls and took the cotton, basically put Elmer's glue on the bamboo skewer, and then laid out the cotton balls so that I could roll the bamboo skewer through it very lightly so that the cotton ball stuck to the skewer, and then let it harden. And then I glued a missile to the tip of the skewer. And then when I hung the plane up, I basically put fishing line around the plane, which secured the bamboo skewer to the bottom and made it look like the missile was actually launching with a smoke trail. It looked pretty cool. And it was pretty simple. It wasn't that complicated. It was tricky to get the missile sitting on the end of the bamboo skewer straight. I had to put a drop of glue on there and then sort of hang it straight up and down so it would harden in a straight line. But it came out pretty cool. I'll have to do them again. I'll have to build some models while I'm in the Philippines. That's one of the things I used to like to do when I was younger. I got away from it just because life got too busy. I wonder where the Enola Gay is. I think it's in the Smithsonian Museum in Washington. Oh, this is a weather recon plane. Oh, this must have been one of the early ones. And what do we got here? B-52 maybe? Oh, looks like a B-52. They have some other planes on across the street over there, way in the distance. It looks like an F-5 Thunder Chief, which was a really cool plane. talked about it in an earlier video. And this is right along the side of Route 40 as you're coming, if you're coming west on Highway 40 going west into Oklahoma City. And this is just right along the side of the highway. You can park your car and wander around in here and look at it. And there's a B2, or B1, excuse me, which I'm plane they spent so much money on they barely ever used it because they designed it for nothing but nukes and had to retrofit it for other things, and I don't think it ever worked out well because the B2 kind of took over. And believe it or not, I have been inside the cockpit of one of these out Chennault Air Force Base. They had just this section removed. And man, there was like 8-10 guys in that cockpit. And let me tell you, there wasn't a lot of room in there. They would have to spend 10-12 hours in that damn thing. Must have been a nightmare. And I believe there's room for a couple guys in the back. And I believe there's a tunnel down through there. That's how they get back and forth. I think the tunnel even had like a little rolling cart on it. Here, look at this bad boy. Oh yeah, I want to take this up for a little quick weekend. Yeah, only cost about, oh no, 50 grand to have enough fuel to get it off the ground. Probably more than that now. The amount of money that was spent on these planes, and they literally didn't do much of anything. Spitfire, huh? Yep. I actually drove 20 miles. Oh, I didn't see this. I don't know if this is a drop plane or early cruise missile or something. Still find out. Definitely looks like it was meant to be mounted on the bottom of a plane. And it had hard points on these to mount external payload. And they got the big wing tanks on this thing too. I just noticed that. Man, I bet you Bonneville Salt Flats would love to see one of them out there for a speed test. Advanced cruise missile. Look at how beat up looking that thing looks. And it's an advanced cruise missile. $1983, Flight 135. I guess after the Cold War they dropped it. I hope we put some regular payloads on it and still sent it over and blew up some shit in Iraq or somebody instead of just parking the missiles. That is just the coolest looking plane though. Well, let's take a quick look at the signage they have over here. Well, he's having a good time. I was hoping he'd take a dump, but he hasn't yet. Surprised the little kids haven't gone over and wanted to pet him. That's what usually happens. That's the one little kid, he's having a good old time. Look, he's heading for the man lift. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, I got it, Daddy. I caught it. They let you get all up under these things. They just say don't climb on them. That's pretty cool. That'd be cool. Now, when I was at Chennault, they actually had like the cockpit section set aside where you could climb up inside. That was Chennault Air Force Base out in Illinois, I believe is where I was. Some nice displays they have here for. I don't know if I like this chained up eagle though, frankly, and the crumpled flag. Not sure what that's supposed to represent, other than the flag and an eagle. Come around the other way there, dog. Don't trip me. POW MIA wall. Oh, this is part of the Hanoi Hilton, really? I remember reading or listening to, I believe it was John McCain, when he was in the Hanoi Hilton, and he talked about how when he was there, he remembers hearing someone screaming down the hallway, and I forget how he talked about it, but it was just like this guy wouldn't stop, and couldn't understand why he wouldn't stop, and then realized he was the one screaming. And part of what they would do is they would tie your hands behind your back and then tie a rope to your hands together, tied behind your back, and lift you off the ground and hang you there like that, which, let's just say, is probably not a very comfortable position to be in. At any rate, I'd like to get over there and take a look at that plane over there, so I'm going to pause this video and see if I can figure out how to get over there. I'm going to finish walking back through here the other direction so you can see all of what's here. And it's a nice little pit stop, especially when I walk the doggy. You could probably even take a dog off a leash here if it's bigger because it can't get out, and if there's not many people here. I thought about doing that with him, but he's so little he can get under the fence places, and I don't need to chasing him when he's on the wrong side of the fence. I'll walk the rest of the way through here, and then I'll see if I can get over to the other side of the highway to that other. I think I know where to do it. It's come out where I came in over here and go across and then down. I think will get me over there. Oh, you can see this plaque here? First tornado. Oh, okay. First tornado. Oh. So we're talking about its weather use. 1948. Yeah. Well, this must have been the ballsy sons of bitches, the first ones to fly into that stuff. I don't know if anybody had flown through them before that and just realized you could. I always also wondered if you could actually use an explosion to cut the tail of a tornado. If you fired something at where the tornado is actually forming up in the sky, would it actually disrupt it enough to make it sort of basically stop and not, oh, here's another one. Hey, you see it says don't climb on aircraft. I didn't see this. I don't believe I videoed this yet. Take a quick look at that. Okay. Whew. It would be nice if they'd put more information about when this was used. And I got him trained to be on my right. And the camera on this thing is on the left, so if I hold it in my left hand, I end up covering up the dang camera. I don't really have a selfie stick for this thing. It's in an OtterBox, and the OtterBox, this is a rather large phone, and most of the phone mounts are not made for such a big phone. I always love this plane. Just like to fly in one of these one day, but probably not likely. Doubt there's any of them in use in the Philippines. This has a good-sized cargo door on it. It's a DC-3 is the one I'm thinking of. This, I think, said something else. This is the larger one. I believe it looks like a DC-3 to me, but they look similar if you don't know what you're looking at. Oh, C-47. DC-3, I believe, was the original model of this aircraft. And they went to other variants afterward and larger planes. If you watch a show called Buffalo Air, they're still using them quite a bit in Alaska as commuter planes and cargo aircraft. It's nice to see an old warplane continue life as something other than a warplane. Most of them are not designed for passenger use, so they don't really get, the fuselages are too thin. Oh, this was designated by Tuskegee Airmen. Tuskegee apparently is not too far from here. I was seeing signs for Tuskegee. Such a shame that blacks have been treated the way they have in this country, considering the very first man to die for America was a black man. If you look back, it happened, I believe it was in Boston. They had a disagreement with some Brits, and the very first person that ended up shot and killed was a free black man that was living in that town. I don't remember what his name was, but the amount of blacks that have lost their lives, given their lives for this country, and yet we still, and trust me, we still treat them badly. It's unfortunate. Anyhow, the rig is working great. I just drove from where was I, Huntsville to here in one shot yesterday. Oh yeah, and I noticed it was showing a low tire indicator, which I just filled this one tire back here. Down to 20 pounds. Yeah, and it looks low again. Kind of hard to judge. I'll have to get the gauge out and take a look. But this rig's been working great. As long as if I stay at 50 miles an hour, I get 30 miles to the gallon, which is pretty goddamn good. If I go up to 60, it drops to 27 to 25. It varies depending on the hills. And frankly, it's a little easier to drive at 50 to 55 than 60, 65. Because the trailer is a little on the heavier side for this car. The Priuses are a heavy car, and it does hold it back a while. It would be nicer if it had brakes on it, but brakes would add probably at least 100 pounds to it. It'd be a heavier axle. Let's see where we're at here. This is gone low on me again. Some tires will leak overnight when they're parked in the right spot. It's down a little bit. It was at 30. I'm down at 27. Now, let's see if that indicator. Sometimes the indicator will go away as the tire heats up. The air will expand, and the tire indicator is actually set when you put your tires on. I don't remember how to reset it. I should find out. Let's see what this one is. And it's not, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that they're off from where you zeroed everything out. And I'm at 35. Yeah, I'm gonna put some air in there. So we're gonna cut this video here and put some air in the tire. But obviously that's the one that's low. And I'm gonna pause it here and put air in there and then work my way across to the other side of the road where I will video that other plane over there. And if there's anything else, I'll add that on. That's it from Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Right along, and that right there is Route 40. So you're right there on the side of the highway. Okay, we're on the other side of the street. You see the bigger planes over there. And I'm gonna go look. I believe it is an F5, although they had all kind of variations on the plane. They just kept updating it and updating it and updating it. This looks like one of the ones that had more motor in it, like a twin motor setup or something. The original was a single engine. But I don't think our military actually used them very much. They sold them overseas mostly. Same family over here. They wanted to look at the plane. The kid loves the plane. Don't blame him. Who doesn't love planes? Oh, what we got here? We got the Hawk having breakfast. What's going on, guy? Snap a shot of that. Oh, where'd he go? Okay. Cool. Oh, he just took off with it. Huh? There he is over here. He don't like being on video. See what he's having for breakfast. Looks like some kind of pigeon. That's another bird. That looks like a pigeon. Breakfast of Champions. Yeah, this is the ones with the double engines. These are probably the last version of the plane. I think they used them here a lot for like chase aircraft or experimental stuff. I don't believe we ever used one of these in a war zone. I believe it's called an F. The original name was F5. And these is the plane. They just kept breaking record after record after record. Well, if I was Colonel Stevens, boy, I'd be happy shit. My plane ended up on display. Well, they don't even put no plaque for what it is. Oh, the best. I'm guessing at the fact that it's called an F5. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. These things were one slick airplane. Oh, this is a two-seater. I think most of them were single-seaters. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know that much. Oh, we got some plaques over here. We'll take a look. Tactical Air Command, it says up on the tail. Ah, here we go. Well, maybe we did use them in Vietnam. I don't know. I'll let you read it. This is I guess this was part of the base, or that was nice little park. Except for the noise of the highway. Now, let's see what they got on. I think this is about the plane here, or at least the. Oh, this is the guy that the base was named after. Now here we have this. And you know what? I want to get a shot of these planes. That may be my cover shot. anybody actually watching this. Let's get a good shot of this. Might be a good shot because I'm close to this one right now. Find a good position to get a good shot of this. Of course, the fence being there kind of pissing me off a little bit to get a good shot. If we can get, yeah, that's a decent shot. Get the old nose in there. A little bit off there. Okay. Well, I think that video is plenty long enough. We'll see what there. If you ever decide to come to Oklahoma City, this is a nice spot to stop for half an hour or so. Beautiful day here today. A light breeze blowing. Not too hot, not too cold. Just right. Feels like it's about 75, maybe. I don't know. This is nice. It's even got a nice little lake here in the park. I don't know if I want to come here on a day without a breeze, because there might be a lot of mosquitoes coming out of this lake unless they treat it. I don't know what they're like here. Not seeing fish, but I'm seeing little bloops like there is fish in there. This is, I guess, just overflow from the various, the parking lots across the street, probably. It's nice that they put this into the context where this becomes like a little pond versus just a catch basin. I always thought that when they do these little catch basins, number one, adding this fountain aerates the water, so it's good for if there's fish in there, and it makes it more interesting. You have just a catch basin, nobody can really go in. Oh, it looks like they're planning to put something over there. They just haven't done it yet. Or it's just access for the metal panels, or access maybe for the plumbing there. Oh, that's kind of cool. These are probably just concrete made large leaves. It's kind of cool. Okay, well, that'll do it for today, folks. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tinker Air Force Base. Nice little pit stop, plenty of places to eat food around here. There's cheap Chili's right across the street. There's Panera Bread right across the street. I think that's Panera Bread. Oh, Panera Express. I haven't heard of that. There's even a PetSmart over there. Lowe's. Santa Fe Cattle Company restaurant. I mean, there's all kind of stuff right here. Jack in the Box, or Jack says. I don't know if it's Jack in the Box or Jack. And there's this, I keep seeing this sign. I'll have to go and just check this out. Okay, I want to go that way. There it is. Got a chicken on it. That's a sit-down breakfast restaurant, which I should check into because it's usually the only meal I want to buy at a restaurant is breakfast. Beyond that, it doesn't matter to me, but I like a hot breakfast. All right, folks, y'all have a good day. Bye.